All right, folks, back on the Boss Man Show. You see in front of the show, Phil Martelli Jr. now with the VCU Rams. I'm joking with him off air. Still same color scheme, black and gold. So changing any suits and anything like he's still good there. Phil, what's up? How you doing, man?
Boss man, I'm doing great. I appreciate you. You've always been with us, and now we're a little bit closer to you. So hopefully we can get you in the building here at some point in time.
100%. That's why I said to myself, Richmond ain't that far from DC and Atlanta, so I can
No, it's
definitely
not.
make it up that way and see you guys play, man. So I'm gonna ask you, man. How cool was it knowing that your successor Brian led you to an opportunity where schools wanted to bring you in, saw what you built up there, man. So about how it felt for you personally, just knowing that the hard work you put in there, Brian, really paid off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to tell you, it's a collective effort, right? Like it was, I'm so appreciative of my time at Bryant, as an assistant, as a head coach. That was a community of people that supported us, that believed in us, that gave us the tools to be successful. A great coaching staff that was around me, great players that really drove the whole thing. So, to have that opportunity was, a really special one for me. And, Brian will always have a incredibly special place in my heart. Um, and then, yeah, this is the nature of the beast, right? Like you have some success and all of a sudden, people come calling, and I'm not one that really lives in those hypotheticals of like, well, this could happen and that could happen. So anytime somebody would call and say, hey, this school wants to talk to you, I'd be like, really? Like, like it just kind of like would come out of the blue to me, where I guess, maybe to other people would make sense. And I was like, oh, all right. Like I wouldn't think, I wasn't expecting or wasn't, kind of positioning for that. So, to have these opportunities and then, specifically to have an opportunity like VCU pop up that is, one of the best 20, 25, 30 jobs in college basketball that gives you the resources that has, incredible support. I mean, I've been doing a radio show that has, you know, the level of support at the radio show in June and July is crazy, right? For where other places they're talking about football or they're talking about, whatever, and here it's like, all right, VCU basketball is doing a radio show and then it's packed, and you're like, this is crazy. It's June, like what are we even going to talk about? So, really, really, blessed to be in a spot like this.
And Phil, how cool is it to be at a school where basketball is kind of the front door of the university, where it is the flagship program of the university for its athletics, men's basketball, and the world reaches people football. So you are it. So people are going to be focused on VCU basketball because you're the flagship. How cool is it to know that you'll get the resources kind of first in that pecking order, knowing that you're the
Yeah.
flagship program for the university?
Yeah, I mean, you feel that, right? Like you feel it, and I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity for all of us, right? You're in a good sized city in Richmond. It is very sports hungry and very sports centric here. And obviously that revolves a lot around VCU basketball. So it's been unique. It's been unique to leave the Northeast where the pro sports really drive everything. Being at some of the schools where I was, where you had, it was low level football, but you had football, so there was kind of some eyes on that. There was some eyes on you in basketball, but here it's like you feel it, right? Like you feel like you're walking down the street and people are there. They're yelling out their car windows, they're honking their horns, they're stopping you on, leaving a restaurant, picking up pizza and telling you how excited they are. And they're going through the roster better than I could, and then, well, this guy and that guy, and we're excited to see. And I'm like, man, it's pretty unique, in this day and age, but it also positions ourselves the way that college basketball is now. It positions ourselves to where I think we can continue to push things forward, and that's what we have to do.
And I want to ask you about this. I saw your staff, man. How important was it for you to bring guys from Bryant with you who have been with you to see your vision, been loyal to you, and it helped you get to where you are today? How important was it you make sure you brought some of those guys with you from Bryant down to VCU with you to be on this staff?
Yeah, it was vital. I mean, I would not have, again, I wasn't looking to leave Bryant. I didn't think I'd be leaving Bryant. I was kind of setting my mind up to like, okay, let's keep this thing going at Bryant and, try to be here for, the next 25, 30, plus years, right? Because we loved it so much. My family loved it. I loved it. But any success I had, was not because of me, it was because of them, right? And I wanted to make sure that was rewarded, right? And I see this happen at different places where guys have success and then they move to a bigger job and they kind of leave guys behind. And I've never bought into that, right? Like if those guys are doing the job, like, again, like you said, that they know your system, they know how you operate, they know when you're in a good mood, they know when you're in a bad mood, they know how to get you out of that bad mood. They know those things. So that was important to bring those guys with me. And then, the other additions that we were able to make. My brother, who had been here at VCU, being able to bring him back, he was an assistant at Penn State. Obviously, no one in the world, knows me better or is closer to me than him. So, to have him down the hall and his knowledge of me, his knowledge of the university because of his time here and how beloved he was here when he was here previously. Um, adding Brett Nelson, who was McDonald's All-American, played at Florida for Billy Donovan. Has been a head coach, has that experience. Being able to add some former VCU players, Brandon Roselle and Brad Burgess, who were part of the Final Four team, along with my Bryant guys of Chris Cole, Brendan Phelps, Ryan Daly, mixing that all together, and then some really good young guys on the staff they are brilliant. They are hard workers. They are, everything that I like to go back in time and tell my 25 to 30-year-old self, like, go be like those guys. Harrison Chipkin, Mike Parmy, they're all guys that just really are really dedicated to the job, to the program, and to the student athletes.
100%. And having to build a new roster this summer, how much has it been more you kind of implement team stuff and maybe letting them play more to kind of see what you have, or the development stuff that you usually do individual wise, but with it being a new team and trying to establish a culture, how much have you kind of adjust your summertime this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blend. The keys that we wanted to get through. We're in our last three workouts here. So we're here on July 29th. Our guys leave on July 31st. So we'll work out today, tomorrow, Thursday, and they'll get out of here. So, the really what we wanted to get in was one, how we operate. Forget the X's and O's, but you know, we like our stuff to be up tempo. We like our stuff to be high energy, and we like to be efficient. There's not a lot of wasted time, right? Like we want to get from drill to drill. We want to, have a certain intensity about us. They've picked up on that. Player development and competition are the two. They're back over my left shoulder here in the facility on the wall. Those are two big words on our wall: develop and compete. And I think they've done that. They've figured out the player development system that we have in place, which is really good. And again, I talked about the staff, the group that we have. I'd put them up against anybody, college or pro, with this group, with the amount that they love to be in the gym, the knowledge that they have, the way that they're able to explain things in a certain way to make it easy for guys to pick up. And then the competition piece, like we do that every day. So, the things that we've done playing one-on-one, through our first couple workouts, our first couple weeks, and just building that competitive piece, and then playing a bunch of 5-on-5 here of late, uh, throwing some minor things, nothing crazy in yet, but just kind of throwing some different ideas at them. We like to play fast and we like to play off of reads. So getting them understanding like how we play in the full court, how to make decisions in the full court. And then when we get in the half court to play off of reads, right? So what's the defense giving us? What are we taking advantage of? And just play off of that. And I've been very pleased with the group. They pick things up pretty quick. It's also it's been a little bit of a challenge for me because I'm like, all right, I don't want to do too much and making sure that we are not overloading them right now with stuff that we're going to just have to redo in 3 weeks anyway.
No
Um,
doubt. And Phil, talk about this, man. Being a VCU, man, the resources you have for nutrition wise, strength coach wise, and just giving the guys education on how to prepare for a long year. And you all play fast. So playing fast, you could be even in higher shape than usual. You got to be in Olympic shape almost to play for you. So talk about getting to understand that piece of it, knowing how you all play and what kind of shape that requires to play the way that you want to play.
Yeah, that's where we are very fortunate. Our strength coach Daniel Roos, our athletic trainer Josh Wall, those guys are in the building. They are, their offices, the weight room, the training room are right off our practice court. And they're just us. So it's not okay. Well, I need to talk to Roos about tomorrow's plan, but he's got field hockey right now, right? And that's what happens at a lot of places. Here, he is men's basketball. Josh is just men's basketball. So, those guys are available basically 24/7 for our guys, for me as a resource. Um, and we've had a number of meetings and discussions in blending all of our stuff together, right? So that it's not we're doing one thing in the weight room to prepare for a certain style, but then we get on the court and we're playing a totally different style. And that's where having these guys who are of the highest level, I mean, we're very fortunate. Both of those guys have been lured by bigger schools and they turn it down because they love VCU and they know what that means and being part of that. So, to keep those guys around, to have them kind of bridge the gaps from staff to staff, from generation to generation, has been huge. And their knowledge of just when I say to them, okay, this is what I'm thinking, tell me where I'm wrong, tell me where I'm right, tell me what we need to adjust. And being able to have those conversations and that relationship with them is just awesome.
No doubt, man, and it's good to have that synergy from all facets of the staff, from the top down, man. That's so great to have. And I'm gonna ask you about how cool is it being in school city with Richmond, with Chris Mooney done a hell of a job up the road from you in A10, competing against that. And how cool is it to have a in-city rival like that, man, which you can compete with?
Yeah, no doubt. And Chris is a Philly guy. We both played in the Philadelphia Catholic League. His career was a little better than mine for sure. But he's somebody that I have the utmost respect for. Outstanding coach, has had success everywhere he's been. It's not a surprise that he has. Really smart guy. It's amazing to think how long he's been there. When we were at league meetings and we kind of start talking about that, and like, man, he's been there so long. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can feel the rivalry, and it's funny because it's just cool to be in a place like this because my son Philip, my oldest, he came to shadow, figuring out he'll be a sophomore in high school, so where he's going to go to school. So he shadows at one school, he shadows at another. Well, the one school he shadowed with, where he's going, he shadowed with Chris's son, who's also going to be a sophomore. So the two of them to have that relationship and develop that connection and friendship already. But knowing that at least 2 times a year, they probably won't be speaking for a couple days. Day before, day of the game, day after, they probably won't be real happy with each other one way or another. So, but that's cool. That's what's part of it. I grew up in Philadelphia, where that's part of the fabric, right? Like, you're walking down the street and there's a Temple house, there's a LaSalle house right next to each other, and yeah, they're the best of friends for a lot of days, but then there's some days where they're not, and that's a pretty cool thing.
No doubt, 100%, man. That big five rivalry in Philadelphia is one of a kind, and playing at the Palestra is one of a kind too. And it gets y'all kind of that little mini rivalry
Yeah.
right there at the same time, which was kind of cool, kind of reminded me. So I want to ask you about it, man. And also, the 18 in general, man. It's a tough league, man. Top to bottom, no easy outs, no night of the week. Man, so talk about just best competitor that you are, knowing that you get to go against these top flight coaches, top flight talent every night, and see where your team stands at. And being the competitor, I know you and your staff is.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's you go down that list and you start looking at, when we go to the league meetings, you start looking around and you're sitting there going, man, like, that guy's a great coach. That guy's a great coach. That guy's got a great coach. That guy's a great coach. That guy's a great coach. Like, it's a lot of that. And the schools and the history. I mean, for me, this is what I grew up with. I grew up with Atlantic 10 basketball. And to me, that was college basketball. Obviously, I'm sure down south there were people that followed the ACC like crazy. And, in the Midwest, they followed the Big Ten like crazy. But to me, it was the Atlantic 10. I knew that conference inside and out. I knew all the gyms, I knew all the coaches, I knew all the players, I knew, you know, everything growing up. So to now be here, and to be a head coach in the conference, to look around at these places and look at the success that so many of them, not just the coaches but the programs have had over the years, truly is humbling. But it gets your juices flowing too, because I'm like, I've been there. I've been in those gyms. Um, a few of them, I guess I've been there as a head coach, not a ton, yet, but as the head coach at Bryant, we played a couple of them. But now to be like, I've been in those gyms as a fan, watching my dad. I've been in those gyms as a player on the team with my dad. I've been in some of those gyms as an assistant coach, but now to walk in those gyms as a head coach and be leading your own program and um, what and the program that quite frankly is kind of the flagship, I think, along with one or two others of the conference, is really, like I said, it's a humbling thing to think about.
And Phil, I got two more for you, brother. How has it been on scheduling side now where you're not Kevin to be bought now, where you kind of pick and choose from being where people don't want to play you because you won so much. Now you kind of have in that position now where you kind of pick and choose how to play schedule wise. So how's it been if you could be on the other side now of this scheduling game, man?
To be honest with you, it's been tough because I don't like to shy away from anything, right? Like I want to play a tough schedule. I want to play, the power conference teams. But quite frankly, they don't want to play us, and it's that's what's hard, like we're trying to do neutrals and try to do these unique situations. And, you know, um, we've had power conference teams that we thought we had agreements with that then have backed out, and decided to do something else. So, uh, it's frustrating at times, but it's not anything like you said. I'm used to that. I'm used to the rejection of scheduling. Um, when we're almost there, we need one more game. We'd love to get a neutral, power four game somewhere. I think we're a good opponent for that, with where our metrics usually are and where we could be. But it takes two to tango, and a lot of times we're the only one on that dance card for whatever reason. And that's not unique to VCU. There's obviously several others like us that deal with that, but yeah, we're always looking. I mean, we're not ducking anybody. We'll play whoever, and if we can do home and home, great. If it's a neutral, great. If it's a other unique situation, we'll do it.
100%. I hope Georgia Tech and Georgia may want to play you. I'm just throwing it out there.
We'd
Just
love that. We'd love that.
Coach White, Coach Stoudemire, hit my man up. Hit him up. So, man,
No, we
I know
love
you,
those
man.
games. Any of those ACC, SEC games we can get, we'll take them.
Yes, indeed, man. I know you have basketball camp this week, man. And I know for me, camp was always fun to be around camp, going to camp or something I did off similar as a kid. So how important is for you to put on basketball camp for these young kids and give them the opportunity to come on college campus, give them an idea of what it could be. And also you kind of have a built-in family with these kids going to come to the game. They know the players, they know the staff, they cheer for you. How cool is it to do that for these kids, man?
Yeah, it's been great to all the events where we can get out and touch the community have been really special to me. Camp is obviously in our blood. It's that's how my dad kind of came up and working camp and running camps, and he's still to this day. I think you start talking about camp and he starts getting excited, and so being able to run camp here, again, bring the community in, get these kids around, get them to meet our guys, get them to see our guys. I mean, it's there's really not anything more special than that. It's what the summertime's about, getting these kids together, getting them in the gym and getting them better, but also having a lot of fun doing it.
And you know what, Phil, before we wrap up here, man, I know for me, going to basketball camp helped me know where I was going to go to school at because I had touched these universities already. I kind of knew where I wanted to go, but there was also it's just a case what they want me to. So
Mhm.
for me, as a kid going to these different camps I went to, it made my recruitment easy because I knew where I kind of wanted to go based on as a kid experiences I had at those camps, on them campuses as a kid. So I'm a living you living proof of it as well. Camp is very important to
No, it
the
certainly
recruitment
is.
process.
It certainly is. There's some people that dread camp. Around here, we love camp. So
Yes, indeed, man. Well, Phil, brother, thank you so much for your time, man. Like I said, I got to come see you close to the ATL, and hopefully you get a game from with putting he goes to hell, maybe that call you,
that'd be
man.
nice. That'd be nice.
So, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm cheering for you as always, brother. And I'm always here for you. Anytime I can help you out, I'm always here for you, man.
Thanks, boss man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.